the 40s, there was doo-wop. It sounded absolutely terrible, but everybody loved it. And contrary to popular belief, doo-wop still exists in some channels. If you turn on XM radio to channel 4, you can listen to doo-wop. My parents do. But just because a couple people listen to it and a couple people believe that it's good, doesn't mean that doo-wop isn't dead. Furthermore, doo-wop led to the 50s. It would have led to big band swing. Big band swing led to classic rock. Classic rock led to Kiss. Kiss led to the 80s. The 80s led to pop. And now we have moved on to a point where we no longer look so far back as to say, you know, pop really reminds me of Native American chanting sounds. Music moves on, and that is what the government team is stating today. We've had a long debate here, but the main point of this entire thing has really been about standards. We've provided 2, the negative team has provided 3. So in this last speech, what we're going to do is take a look at all 5 and show you how the government team wins each and every one of them at the end of today's debate round. First standard is popularity. We have proven time and time again the Beatles are no longer popular and the music of Paul McCartney is no longer popular. Benji himself proved this when he stood up and did the knocking test. You all heard the few measly knocks that Paul McCartney drew. Furthermore, Ryan proved it when a student asked him, made a reference to a Beatles song, and he himself didn't reference it. He didn't get the reference that the student was making, but he did know exactly the place of the song Shower on the current pop charts. Paul McCartney is dead. The music is no longer popular. The standard is won by the government team. The second standard is that of produced. Now, they've argued time and time again, no, classic rock is still produced. Look at Fall Out Boy. Who here thinks that Paul McCartney sounds anything at all like Fall Out Boy? Fall Out Boy uses electronic sounds. Paul McCartney never did that. Fall Out Boy wrote songs like I Don't Care, whereas Paul McCartney wrote Live and Let Die. The two sounds are nothing alike. Music has evolved to the point where even though it may fall into the genre classic rock, it sounds nothing at all like what the Beatles originally wrote or intended. That standard is won by the negative team. The third standard that the negative team brought up, it's won by the government. Third standard the negative team brought up is the phrase, they're not coming back. What do we see? Are the Beatles coming back? Is Paul McCartney coming back? When was the last time you saw a Beatles song on the top 100 charts? When was the last time you saw a knockoff Beatles song produced? It's clearly not coming back. Furthermore, this is the last speech, you can't POI here. Furthermore, we argue that this sound cannot be reproduced, since the style of the Beatles was in fact so unique to its time that it cannot ever come back. There was an age of golden classical rock. We are not in that age today. If ever we decided to have a throwback to that time, it wouldn't be the same as recreating the golden age of rock. It would be the musical equivalent of a Civil War reenactment. It's not the same thing. You can't recreate a dead era. The fourth standard is physical. This isn't really contested, I don't think. Paul McCartney is pretty physically dead, so I don't know why they brought that up. But they did ask a very interesting question, which is, what killed him? If something dies and it's the style of music that Paul McCartney created is in fact dead, we have to have a bright line to point to say, this is where he died. But yet, the negative team agreed, time kills. And that's exactly what killed Paul McCartney and what killed the music of the Beatles. As time went on, music simply moved on. They stopped being popular, they stopped being produced, it stopped being recognized as the epitome of modern music, and it simply went away. Physically, as a standard, we can all agree Paul McCartney is in fact dead, so that standard is won by the government team. Finally, let's look at legacy, possibly the most contested issue in the debate round. Who can even think to themselves, think in your head, can I name to myself 3 songs that Paul McCartney wrote, not the Beatles, but Paul McCartney himself? I already gave you 1, so you'd only have to think of 2. If you can think of 2, I bet the majority of you can't. Now the truth about music is, his legacy does live on, but only in the same kind of way that the legacy of dinosaurs lives on. Yeah, we find their fossils. Yeah, we talk about them all the time. Yeah, little kids and 12-year-olds think that they're awesome and they think they're really cool. And there's little cults of people that talk about and love dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are still dead, just like Paul McCartney is the dinosaur he was.
For shame.
Furthermore, let's think about real people. In this debate round, we've talked specifically about a lot of real dead people. George Washington, he left quite a legacy. We are living in his legacy today. He is still dead. Dinosaurs left a legacy, he is still dead. And in the same way, the fact that we can still see some bands attribute some of their successes to classic rock does not mean that it's not dead. Thank you.